Hey guys, Iron Cameraman here. Yesterday, I was rewatching some old Skibidi Toilet videos and came across this old response from Mr. Boom to one of my questions about the differences between the early Skibidi Toilet episodes and the ones coming out today. What's even more interesting is that even though I was the one who asked the question, I never actually showed it on my channel because I couldn't release that video on time due to a mistake. In the end, my friend Super Cameraman ended up featuring the response. It just so happens that today's video is all about nostalgia, but along the way, we'll also touch on the upcoming Skibidi Toilet movie. I'll share some of my latest thoughts on it. In his response, Mr. Boom made it clear that Skibidi Toilet is constantly evolving, so it's naive to expect the same frequent episode releases as in the early days. But that doesn't change the fact that most viewers don't like waiting so long between episodes. Just think about it. The last video on the channel came out 2 months ago, and the one before that was 4 months ago. Back in the day, new episodes used to drop almost every week. Now compare the quality of the reworked episode 75 to, say, episode 48. The difference is huge. And that brings us to the age-old debate for any series. Is it better to have frequent releases or higher quality episodes? No matter what you think is the right answer, the decision has already been made in favor of quality. This is further confirmed by some new information. Mr. Boom mentioned that while working on the episode, he's getting just 1 FPS, and he has to split the episode into multiple separate projects just to have enough memory and processing power to handle it. The stunning visuals and unique style of Boom's work aren't just thanks to his talent. They're also the result of many additional plugins he keeps adding to SFM. On top of that, he uses various techniques to enhance the quality, like particles from HoovyTube. To properly answer this question, we need to look at it from both a broad and a personal perspective. Objectively, as longtime Skibidi Toilet viewers, we care more about the story than the visuals. But if we think about the project's long-term success, constant audience growth, and overall future, it becomes clear why Mr. Boom chooses to improve the quality and take bigger, more serious steps. But as paradoxical as it sounds, in the case of Skibidi Toilet, pushing the quality too far might actually be a mistake, rather than a new breath of life for the project. This is an indie series that became popular in the exact form we're used to seeing. That's its biggest advantage, but also its biggest challenge. To understand which aspect of success matters the most, just take a look at some of Boom's most viral videos. For example, how about that short where a guy is riding a bus, sees another guy playing a piano that's also moving, and then, in the end, a third guy literally eats poop from his hand? Or another viral short where people are working out in the gym in the weirdest ways possible. Simply put, the secret to this kind of content's popularity and viral success has always been its absurdity and absolute craziness. And the toilet head became that ultra-successful madness that launched the series. Any of Boom's other viral videos could have blown up in the same way. It's just that, before, no one thought you could make a whole series out of a story where a guy on a bus takes a dump and another guy eats it. Though, to be fair, Episode 4 kind of referenced characters like that. But whatever. What I'm getting at is that we fell in love with his creations, specifically because of his unique authorial approach. In modern big-budget productions, it's hard to imagine a scene where someone gets punched so hard they fall into the asphalt, turn into helicopter propellers, and then start breakdancing. No one is behind Mr. Boom. He's his own director and always has been. He doesn't have a background as a successful producer or any kind of formal production education. If he did, I doubt we'd be seeing the series in the form we have now. His world feels immersive not because it follows all the rules of storytelling by the book, but because he has a strong intuitive sense of what works and how to show it. It's no secret that he was inspired by many games and movies with a mysterious style, like Half-Life 2. Looking at similar situations, I've come to an interesting conclusion. Movies based on indie projects often lose the very atmosphere that made the original so popular. This happens for a few reasons: adapting for a wider audience, interference from studio producers, changes in artistic style, and a shift in the original pacing. Take Slenderman, for example. It started as an internet meme, then became a cult indie game, Slender, the 8 pages, and later evolved into an entire universe of fan projects and ARGs. But when Sony decided to turn it into a full-length movie, the result was disappointing. The eerie, mysterious atmosphere that thrived on uncertainty and psychological horror was replaced with cheap jump scares and generic plot lines. The film completely failed to capture that fear of the unknown that made the original so gripping. Just look at the most popular comments under that movie. People weren't impressed. And Michael Bay is no exception. He likes to do things his own way. So don't be surprised if a Skibidi Toilet movie ends up feeling completely different from the original series. At the very least, it'll be on a whole different scale. Bigger budgets, bigger risks, more people involved, and a completely different approach to production. Take Transformers, for example. Bay changed a lot of elements from the original canon. Optimus Prime became more aggressive and decisive rather than the wise leader he was before. Megatron also got a completely different interpretation. Bay focuses on massive action sequences, explosions, and giant robots. These changes might have gone against the original source material, but they made the movies more visually spectacular and mainstream-friendly. That doesn't necessarily mean the Skibidi Toilet movie would be bad, just different. Some people will like it, some won't. When it comes to editing, Bay's average scene length across all his movies is about 2 to 3 seconds. For comparison, Christopher Nolan's movies often hold shots for 5 to 8 seconds. In the industry, that's considered an extremely fast editing style. And as you can guess, that's nothing like the Skibidi Toilet series, where almost everything happens in a single shot from a first-person perspective. Even scene transitions aren't done through traditional cuts. They usually shift through a tablet screen or some in-universe effect. I find it hard to believe that a big-name producer like Bay would drastically change his signature style just to match the feel of the original series. Long story short, this is definitely going to be a massive and successful project. Michael Bay knows what he's doing. And Mr. Boom will bring his signature craziness and creative ideas, so it won't be a completely Bay-only project, even considering his love for doing things his own way. But here's another concern. After a couple of big projects like this movie, will the original series in its current format survive? Honestly, there's no reason to worry about that for now. Mr. Boom clearly understands everything, and his actions prove it. He started reworking episode 78, which was originally done by other animators, and he still sticks to SFM instead of turning to big film studios, even though he easily could. By the way, I realized that Michael Bay is actually the perfect candidate for this job because Transformers and Skibidi Toilets are surprisingly similar in terms of their history. Transformers started out as just Japanese toys, not something serious or deep. Then came the cartoons and comics, which added lore and character backgrounds. And Michael Bay turned that into a hugely successful franchise, now ranked 9th in global box office earnings. Skibidi Toilet kind of went the opposite way. It started as a series first, and then came the toys. But just like Transformers, the characters didn't originally have a set story. They were just a fun concept. Bay, like Mr. Boom, knows how to take big, random, weird-looking figures and turn them into characters people actually care about. This duo could create something completely new that will blow up theaters worldwide. And before I go, hit that like button if you think the movie will drop before episode 78. See ya!